Hello, I'm Jennifer Samoa and you're welcome to Platinum News Update on Platinum News. Now let's take the headlines. Ghana's coronavirus cases hit 9. Immigration Service rejects over 200 travelers from coronavirus-hit countries. EC6 parliamentary approval to compile new voters register. E-learning initiatives to get SHS students busy. Speaker orders fumigation of Parliament. And to sports, Rafael Dramina starts gym work after undergoing a successful heart surgery. Now let's take the first story. Information Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah has announced the country has confirmed 2 more cases of coronavirus, bringing the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 9. According to the minister, 2 more cases have been confirmed overnight, and Ghana's cases count is at 9. Health services are still managing all suspected and confirmed cases as well. The Ghana Health Service on its website reports that the 2 new cases were imported. Lord Kwesi Afrifa, the Deputy Controller of Immigration in charge of Command Post and Operation, has indicated the Ghana Immigration Service has refused about 200 foreign nationals entry into the country as part of measures to curb the spread of the COVID-19 in Ghana.
What we have done so far is to advise all our controls to enforce the ban strictly. That all persons traveling from countries that have recorded 200 cases and over are to be refused entry, and that is what we are doing. We are only admitting foreigners coming back or returning who have resident permits. And even that, their details are being taken and being shared with the Ghana Health Service response team. So far, as of yesterday, on the 16th March, we refused 2 Italians entry who were traveling in on Air France. In fact, we did not allow them to disembark because we normally have the travel advice from the airlines. We screen it and see who is on board before they come. So the 2 Italians were noted on the Air France flight, and the team went in, the joint team of the Ghana Immigration Service and the Port Health authorities went on board and explained the situation to them, and they were refused and they were not allowed to come back. They returned with the flight. Yesterday, 17th of March, 24 Chinese were refused entry, and also 1 German, also under the same circumstances, with a kick-in of the travel ban at 1 p.m. This morning, there is an incident in Abidjan. The airport is closed due to an incident on the tarmac. So flights were being diverted to Ghana. In consultation with the civil aviation, all those flights were refused landing and sent back. 1 Ethiopian airline flights that landed without permission, the passengers were not allowed to disembark. They were refueled and they continued on their journey. The flight statistics that we have indicate that there has been a drastic drop in passenger inflow, especially on the major airlines. So for yesterday, for instance, British Airways, which would normally bring in about 350 passengers, brought in 140. KLM would normally bring in about 450 daily, brought in 128. Air Portugal, which would normally bring in about 150, brought in 12. Kenya Airways, which would normally bring in about 120, brought in 66. Emirates Airlines, which would normally bring in 380, brought in 174. Today, as at this morning, the figures from especially Kenya Airways and Emirates, which come quite early, and South Africa Airlines, recorded more reduced numbers. Kenya Airways, for example, brought in only 26 passengers. Emirates brought in 93. South Africa Airlines from Washington, which would normally come with about 300 passengers, brought in 36, and most of these are Ghanaians.
Moving on, the Electoral Commission has submitted to Parliament a new constitutional instrument to compile new voters' register for the 2020 general elections. The Public Elections Regulations 2020, when passed, will make a passport number 1 identification to be presented as evidence as a Ghanaian. Staying on this same subject, an alternative e-learning platform has been rolled to facilitate teaching and learning for Form 1 and 2 senior high school students, following the directive by the government to close down all schools to contain and prevent the spread of the pandemic COVID-19. The students will have the opportunity to take prescribed subjects by the Ghana Education Service, including mathematics, English, social studies, and general science. Open to all Ghanaian students, the initiative is being made possible jointly by Vivo Energy Ghana, the African Business Center for Development Education, and eCampus Ghana. In a related development, the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Oquaye, has issued a directive that all spaces within the country's legislature be fumigated as part of measures to fight the COVID-19 in Ghana. And speaking in Parliament today, Professor Aaron Oquaye called for a rearrangement of seats in the chamber to keep safe distance among members of Parliament, a directive which is in line with the World Health Organization guidelines.
That there should be fumigation of every inch of Parliament where we operate from, everywhere. And that should be done immediately. In fact, the director has started relevant inquiries already in this regard. Tomorrow, we should see progress in that regard. You know, in other organizations, honorable members order, this is very important. Some have stopped work. Some have made very serious arrangements and rearrangements. And we should continue to consider these for Parliament. We can't. Even the matter of the state of emergency, Parliament has to act on it. So it means that no matter the emergency that arises, Parliament must be around to take steps under the Constitution which are demanded to direct this nation and approve of relevant orders. Meanwhile, I notice that the WHO has indicated clearly the distance required between human beings, people, when they sit. When we visited the Flash Nice House, we saw clearly that they were adhering, and we had to sit far from each other. Our arrangements are not in accordance with that World Health Order. I'm directing that the clerk and the leadership of the House must seriously work on this, such that at least there should be an interval of one space between us as we are seated now. So that now, order, there shall be fumigation of this chamber before we sit tomorrow. And also all other arrangements, including the possible use of upstairs, the gallery, and other spaces that the leaders can create within the chamber, should also be considered, because these are global directives which we must also think of and adhere to. This is a matter of detail, and it's for them to oblige accordingly, together with the medical director.
Let's go for a quick break and we'll take the sports news update.
All right, so let's get straight into the sports update and start from the quarters of some Ghanaian footballers. In Ghana, and Real Zaragoza striker Raphael Dramina has started gym work after undergoing a successful heart surgery, with doctors taking extreme measures at preventing a future heart attack there. According to reports, a device known as implantable automatic defibrillator or implantable cardioverter defibrillator has been implanted in his heart to protect the player from a sudden heart attack. So the device actually has been planted inside the heart of Raphael Dramina just to prevent any future occurrence of heart attack. So the 24-year-old has been working in the gym under the guidance of trainer Javier Chocharo and recuperator Andres Ubieto. So the Ghana international is under a 24-hour medical surveillance as he battles to get his career back on track. The 24-year-old was ruled out of action indefinitely after being diagnosed with a pulmonary condition last year, October, and underwent a successful operation at the Miguel Serviette University Hospital in Zaragoza. The condition causes an irregular and fast heart rate and can result in dizziness, shortness of breath, and tiredness. It is the second time or major healthcare scare that Raphael Dramina has suffered in his professional career. It will be recalled that in August 2017, the then Brighton and Hove Albion manager actually wanted to sign Raphael Dramina, but the health condition actually took them off that particular deal, and Dramina had to move on to Uri Levante in the Spanish La Liga, where he signed in August 2018, and he has been loaned out to Real Zaragoza for 1 year later in July 2019. And of course, he has an 800,000 euros annual contract with Uri Levante, which will expire in 2020. So we wish Raphael Dramina the very best as he's kick-started training just to get his career back on track. So that's all by all the sports here on Platinum News. Just keep it safe out there. Beware of coronavirus. Wash your hands. Use a hand sanitizer. And don't step out. Self-isolation is very important. Just keep it safe and keep it calm there. We need you alive. Keep it safe. That's all by way of the sports here with me, Samuel Ziga.
A recap of the headlines. Ghana's coronavirus cases hit 9. Immigration Service rejects over 200 travelers from coronavirus-hit countries. EC seeks parliamentary approval to compile new voters register. And e-learning initiatives to get SHS students busy. Speaker orders fumigation of Parliament. And in sports, Raphael Dramina starts gym work after undergoing a successful heart surgery. That's all for today on News Updates. Don't forget to stay safe, wash your hands under running water with soap, and use alcohol-based sanitizers. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs.